Yes guys, welcome back to another video on the channel, and today welcome to my Champions League quarter-final first leg predictions. Of course the Champions League is back. It's been I think about 6 weeks since we've had some Champions League football, but yeah, it's quarter-finals now and we have got four brilliant games to look forward to. So yeah, make sure to smash the like, subscribe, and let's get into the video. Okay, then the first game is from the Emirates Stadium, where Arsenal take on Real Madrid. Now, I mean, Arsenal fans, they've called it the biggest game of their history, the biggest game since they've moved into the Emirates Stadium. This is a season-defining game for Arsenal. Obviously, out of the FA Cup, knocked out by Manchester United, knocked out the Carabao Cup by Newcastle in the semis. Premier League going to Liverpool. So this is the only chance really for Arsenal to win something. And it's not really every day that Real Madrid come to town, do they? Obviously, it's been 19 years the last time these two met. 2005, 2006 season, last time they met. I think it was around the 16th first leg at the Bernabeu. And surprisingly, Arsenal actually won. They won 1-0. Thierry Henry scored the only goal in the Bernabeu. And of course, it was 0-0 in the second leg at Highbury. And of course, Arsenal knocked out Real Madrid. And also quite recently as well, in the Women's Champions League, Arsenal women played Real Madrid women. I think Real Madrid women won the first leg in Madrid. Second leg at the Emirates, I think Alicia Russo scored twice in Arsenal. And so Alicia Russo scored twice, and someone else scored. I think it was like 3-4-0 to Arsenal in the second leg. So, I mean, if Arsenal women can come back and if Arsenal women can beat Real Madrid, then surely that's what the first team have got to believe. And I mean, to be fair, I don't see why Arsenal can't beat Real Madrid, in my opinion, because if you look at Real Madrid this season, you know, they haven't really been great. Obviously, everyone was expecting big things. Everyone was expecting big things from Real Madrid because of the players they've brought in. You know, everyone was expecting big things, you know, because they have Bellingham, Mbappe, Vinicius, Rodrigo. Everyone was expecting big things because they've literally got a super team, and it's going to become even more super because it looks like they're going to be getting Trent Alexander-Arnold from Liverpool. But I mean, just things haven't really lived up to expectations. I think Barcelona are currently top of La Liga. In the Champions League, they had to go into the playoffs, and I mean, they just about as well got into the Copa del Rey final. Real Madrid took them, not Real Madrid, Real Sociedad took them pretty much right to the wire. And I mean, Real Madrid just about scraping through. And plus as well, they got battered out in Saudi in the Supercopa de España against Barca. I mean, Barca, they were like 4-1 up at half time. I remember watching that game, and I was so surprised of how bad Madrid were. I remember watching the El Clasico game as well, where Barca pretty much battered Real Madrid, and they were just pouring that game. It just hasn't. It's been I don't really know how to describe it really. Like everyone, Real Madrid have probably underachieved. Is that the right over? I don't know what it is. One of them two, but let's just say they've disappointed this season really. And Arsenal, I know they've got a lot of injuries. I know Gabriel's out for the season and that, but with it being at home as well, I don't see why Arsenal can't beat them. Obviously, I don't want them to because I'm a Tottenham fan. I'm hoping Real Madrid absolutely smash them, but I generally don't see why Arsenal can't beat them, especially with the first leg being at the Emirates. I mean, if Arsenal, they need to kind of treat this like it's the final, to be honest. They need to just penetrate the Real Madrid defence, because Real Madrid defensively are quite weak, to be honest. And even Carlo Ancelotti said it as well. Defensively, they're not really that strong. I mean, if you look at how Arsenal defensively have been this season, you probably defensively give it to Arsenal. Midfield's probably a bit 50-50. And then the attackers, obviously Real Madrid. But yeah, you know, it is a tough game to call. Obviously, most people, I mean, I think when obviously the draw was made, everyone was acting, myself included, to be honest, everyone was saying, oh, Real Madrid are going to batter Arsenal. Arsenal got no chance. Excuse me. But then you look at it now. And Arsenal have definitely got a chance. Arsenal have really got a chance to go through to the semi-finals, because this Real Madrid team isn't what everyone was expecting it to be, to be honest. But yeah, I mean, let's just crack on score prediction, because we could be here all day talking about this game. But yeah, I mean, like I said, Arsenal, they've got to go for it. The atmosphere, I mean, Arteta said it himself, the atmosphere has got to be up top. Like, literally, Arteta said he wants the fans to be there like an hour early before kick-off, watch the warm-up, make noise. And that he wants the fans to be an hour early, make noise, back the team, make Real Madrid feel scared. And I'm sure the Arsenal fans will try and do that, especially the Ashburton Army, whatever they're bloody called. But in the end, I just think that Real Madrid attack, I think it'll just be a bit too much for Arsenal. You know, you got Mbappe, Vinicius, Rodrigo. I just think that'll be a bit too much, and especially as well with Gabriel not being available. I think that's going to be a big blow, because realistically it's probably going to be Kivior starting, and Kivior isn't really one of the strongest players in the world, is he? But yeah, in the end, it'll be a tight game, but I think Real Madrid just to win this game by 2-1. And the next game is a repeat of the 2010 Champions League final, as Bayern take on Inter. Now, to be honest, I think this will be a really good game of football. You've got Bayern Munich, who have probably pretty much won the Bundesliga now. I don't see where Leverkusen can catch them. And so I think full focus for Bayern really probably be on the Champions League, because the Bundesliga is pretty much wrapped up. Bayern pretty much got a hand on the trophy already. But this won't be an easy game. Obviously, Bayern, we all know they're very attacking. I think Bayern, because I looked earlier, Bayern Munich, they're the third highest scoring team in the Champions League. I think they scored 28 goals in the Champions League. I think Bayern has scored like 28 goals in the Champions League this season, which is quite crazy. But Bayern are up against an Inter Milan team who... Bayern Munich are up against an Inter Milan team who are... Bayern Munich are up against an Inter Milan side who are very defensive. You know, they are really difficult to break down. They've only conceded 2 goals in the Champions League. Inter, obviously one of them was against Leverkusen. Leverkusen won that game 1-0. And of course the other was against Feyenoord in the second leg. But hold on. Sorry about that. But yeah, anyway. But like I was saying, I forgot what I was saying. I was getting distracted. What was I saying? Oh, let me quickly go. Yeah, like I was saying, Inter have only conceded 2 goals. One of them against Leverkusen, which Leverkusen won 1-0. And of course the other being in that round of 16 game with finals. So overall, it will not be easy for Bayern to get many goals because of how defensive and well organised Inter Milan are. I mean, going forward, they're decent. They've got some good players. They've obviously got Lautaro Martinez, Argentinian striker. We've got Marcus Thuram. They've got other players as well, especially midfield, where they've got players who can just ping the ball. You've got Barella, who I think is brilliant. I mean, one player, centre half, I think is just probably is massively underrated and needs to get more respect than he deserves. Is Alessandro Bastoni. I mean, Bastoni, he is just an absolutely unbelievable talent. He is an unbelievable talent. Bastoni, like just what he does, how he just controls the game and plays his game is ridiculous. But yeah, I mean, like I said, it's going to be really tough for Bayern to try and get some goals because of how compact Inter. I mean, Inter is a fantastic team, and Inter have got an absolutely fantastic manager in Simeone. They've got a fantastic manager in Simeone Inzaghi, who is just brilliant. Won them the league last season. Might do it again. Obviously, it's quite tight at the top between them, and it's very tight at the top between them and Napoli. And I mean, obviously, Coppa Italia, they're in the semis as well. But yeah, I mean, it's such a tough game to call, to be honest. I mean, it could end 0-0, to be honest. It wouldn't really surprise me if it does. But in the end, I think Inter will just about get the win, in my opinion. Bayern defensively are a bit. So yeah, in the end, I think Inter are going to take a 1-0 lead to San Siro. And the next game, we head to Spain as FC Barcelona take on last year's finalists in Borussia Dortmund. Now, to be honest, I think a lot of people will be expecting Barca to win, and I'm one of those people. Barcelona are just an unbelievable team. What Hansi Flick has done first season as well at Bayern, he's done an absolutely unbelievable job. I think they could win the treble, Barcelona. Obviously, they're in the final of the Copa del Rey against Real Madrid. Obviously, I think they're top of La Liga, obviously still in the Champions League. And I don't see why Barcelona can't win the Champions League, to be honest. They've got an absolutely unbelievable team. Going forward, Rafinha, Lamine Yamal, Lewandowski, their attack is absolutely frightening, terrifying. It's unbelievable. Midfield as well is very good. You've got Gavi, you've got De Jong, etc. And defensively, Kubarasi, who is just absolutely unreal for his age. I think I think he might be injured or suspended. I'm not really sure. But overall, Barcelona just an absolutely top footballing team. And I mean, as for Dortmund, on the other hand, it hasn't really been good for them this season. I think they're like 11th in the Bundesliga. They've had a really, really poor season. Out of the cup, league is well and truly gone. The league is well and truly gone, and the only thing to play for now for Dortmund is the Champions League. And and for Dortmund, they're up against this unbelievable Barcelona side, and it's going to be really tough for Dortmund to try and knock out Barca. And if Dortmund do it, then fair play to them. But I think Barcelona, they are just too much for them. But to be fair though, the one good thing, when I have had the opportunity to watch Dortmund in the Champions League, the attack is very good. Cyril Guirassy, I think, is the top scorer in the Champions League, or he's at least up there. Barca got to watch out for him, because Barcelona play that high line, play the ball into him, then he's in. It's Jamie Gittins as well, the Englishman, very good. Adeyemi as well. So Barca, defensively, considering how high they're going to be, they're going to be practically sat on the halfway line. They've got to be careful for those three players, Guirassy, Adeyemi and Gittins, because they're very, very good players and they know what to do. But yeah, in the end, I think Dortmund will get a goal, but I think Barcelona will win this game and take a comfortable lead to Signal Iduna Park. So yeah, my prediction is 3-1 to FC Barcelona. And the final game of this quarter-final first leg week is PSG Paris Saint-Germain, the 2025 champions of France, because they did officially win Ligue 1 the other day. And in their way is Aston Villa. I know, that is absolutely mind-blowing to say that Aston Villa, who 6 years ago were in the Championship, the second division of English football, and they're now in a Champions League quarter-final, which is absolutely mind-blowing. I mean, I really, really hope Villa do go through, because it'd be unbelievable. Aston Villa, like, they could be in the semi-final Champions League, which is ridiculous, and they could face Arsenal. So it's the mind-blowing thing is that it could be Arsenal versus Villa in the semi-finals, and then potentially one of Arsenal or Villa could go into the semi-finals. But both Arsenal and Villa have got really, really tough quarter-finals. They've both got really, really tough quarter-final games. But I mean, Villa, I mean, if they actually do it, then fair play to them. Obviously, I really hope they do, because what Emery's done this season has been brilliant. I mean, it's been a really, really good season overall, to be honest, for Aston Villa. FA Cup semi-finals, pushing. They're obviously in the semi-finals of the FA Cup. They're pushing to get Champions League next season in the Premier League, and as well, obviously in the quarter-finals of the Champions League. And this is probably Villa's biggest game, you could say, in recent years, to be honest, because literally 6 years ago they were playing teams like Derby County, West Brom, rivals Birmingham City, other teams, Swansea, Middlesbrough, Sunderland, Preston, Bristol City, and now they're here. Like, it's just crazy. It's generally mind-blowing, to be honest. And I mean, Villa are just unbelievable to me. They're a good team. They're a very good team, Villa, and they are a very good team. And I mean, the players that signed from January have been really good. Rashford's on fire, Asensio's on fire, Watkins and that as well. Even midfield, John McGinn's doing decent and that. But Villa are a good team. Emery has gone playing some good stuff. They got a good win the other day against Forest. They got a very good win the other day against Forest in the league. But I mean, they're up against this PSG team who is absolutely unbelievable, and I don't think. They're up against this PSG side who I don't see. They're up against this PSG team who I don't see why they can't win the whole thing, to be honest. They deservingly knocked out Liverpool. They really deservingly knocked out Liverpool, I mean, it was literally smash and grab for Liverpool first leg. PSG were all over him. And second leg, you probably could say Liverpool were all over him, but PSG got the goal and obviously took it all the way to pens, and PSG won on pens. And like I said, overall, PSG deserved to beat. Like I said, overall, PSG deserved to beat Liverpool, to be honest. And just this team overall, PSG is unbelievable. Defensively, is really good. But I did find out earlier that Marquinhos is suspended for this game, which is a big bloke, because he is literally one of PSG's best defenders. Midfield, I am a huge fan of PSG's midfield. It is crazy, their midfield. João Neves, Vitinha, Fabio Ruiz is an unbelievable midfield. And the front three is just unbelievable itself. You've got Doué, Barcola, Kvaratskhelia, whoever it is, really. I mean, this PSG team is just absolutely unbelievable, and it's going to be really, really difficult for Villa to go to, because the first leg is in Paris. It's going to be really tough for Villa to go to Paris and get a result. And if they do, fair play. Obviously, I mean, Unai Emery a few years ago, he obviously took Villarreal to the semi-finals. I think they beat Bayern Munich in the semi-finals. They beat a very good Bayern Munich team as well. I think was it Thomas Tuchel, I think, was the manager at the time. I'm not really sure. So if Emery can take Villarreal to the semi-finals, why can't he do it with Villa? Why can't he? Who knows? But yeah, I mean, I think in the end, first leg at PSG, the atmosphere should be unbelievable firstly. But yeah, I think PSG in the end, I think they're going to have too much for Villa. So yeah, in the end, prediction 3-0 Paris Saint-Germain for me, but up the Villa for that game. I'm going to end the video. Thanks for watching. Smash that subscribe. I'll see you soon. Goodbye.